Hi, and welcome to another LRCC Soundbite. Today is the day when Christians start looking forward to Christmas, the day when we celebrate Jesus being born. I wonder, are you looking forward to Christmas? I remember as a child there were certain things that I would see around me that told me Christmas was coming. There might be decorations starting to go up around the town, or the shops would start selling Christmas decorations and presents and gifts. An advent calendar would arrive at home. And things at school would start to change, special events and different things happening towards the end of term. And what was I looking forward to? I suppose number one as a child was probably the presents, and a close second was probably the school holiday. As I've got older, I've found that things change a little. There's a lot of extra things to do for me on the run up to Christmas. And if I'm honest, that doesn't always fill me with joy. Sometimes I wonder how I'm going to fit it all in, but somehow it all happens. The certain thing, though, is that Christmas Day is going to come. A couple of thousand years ago, the Jewish people were watching and waiting for something to happen. They had many prophecies in their religious texts telling them that God would send someone to save them. At that time, the land was occupied by the Romans, and it wasn't always pleasant. Peace was a bit fragile in that area at the time. People trusted God to send someone who would help them. And what they really wanted was someone who would kick out the Romans and restore Israel as a sovereign nation. They had confidence because it wouldn't be the first time God had kept his promise to do just that. In the past, there'd been a whole string of great leaders that God had sent, always at a time when the nation was in great need. So they were ready, they were waiting, and they were watching. Of course, all the great prophets in history were born quietly, nurtured by inconspicuous parents, grown up to be a faithful man or woman of God, and then obeyed God's call when it came to make a difference in that place. So the fact that Jesus' birth wasn't going to be surrounded by the great and the good in some fancy place really wasn't surprising, I guess, when you look back. Years later, though, after he was born, when he'd grown up, but before he started travelling around, to do his preaching and his teaching and his healing and all those things, a cousin of his by the name of John started telling people to get ready, that the promises God had made hundreds and thousands even of years ago were coming true right now. John, at the time, he lived out in the desert, and people came from miles around to hear what he had to say and even to get baptized in the river where he was as a sign that they wanted to be ready for this great Messiah God was sending. The leaders at the time even sent people to go and ask John, are you the one? Are you this great leader who's going to make a difference? And John said, no, that's not me. But the person is coming and you need to be ready. So all these people are watching and waiting and anticipating what was going to happen. They all had different expectations. And as it turned out, Jesus didn't always meet those expectations, particularly of the leaders. But that's another part of the story I haven't really got time for today. So it just led me to think, what are we watching and waiting for this year as we head towards Christmas? What are your hopes and dreams for Christmas and the new year? We often set our expectations by our experiences from the past. And I thought, this year maybe, why not try looking forward instead? If you pray, why not ask God about it? If you don't, then why not try it just once? You don't have to do anything more than quietly say it or even just think it, say it in your head, whatever it is you want to ask God. There's no special words or process. My hope this year is that maybe more people will take a fresh look at Christmas and ask themselves, who was this man Jesus? Why is it that so many people still think he's relevant today? If that's you, it'd be great to talk to you more about it. Just get in touch. Anyway, God bless you, and I'll see you next week.